We're back with another episode, and today we're drawing both Mario and Luigi in 8 different styles. Now, as you can see, we have 2 of the styles already done. That's graffiti and drip, but that's because, well, basically I did this as a live stream, and I was already just doing the insignia of the Super Mario Galaxy movie. But we're going to start off today with the cartoon effect. And like I said, this was a live stream that was done about a month ago, and halfway through it, well, my cats were starting to fight, and well, these are them. Yeah, you can see he is a really big boy. I mean, just look how big my hand is next to him. Now, for some of you who are new to the channel, my name is James from J Kirsch Art, and I love taking all these different characters and transforming them in fun, new ways. And if you'd like to see your favorite characters transform in fun and unique ways, then please do me a favor and smash that like button so you never miss out on another video. Finishing up with just a little bit of color here on the galaxy sign, and we're going to call this section complete, as we're going to head on over to the second style, and that's going to be the stone effect. And what is the stone effect? Essentially, we want to take Mario and transform him into destroyed, crumbled, cracked stone statue. The cool thing about this particular effect is you can make it as crumbled or as smooth as you want. So if you want to add a couple of crack lines, go in there. If you want to add a little bit of chip and pithing from the stone, go ahead, add that in too. Or if you just want to make it look like a super smooth relief that was just carved by a great master, then leave it that way as well. These styles are entirely up to you. So how we go about actually completing this effect is basically we're going to use about a 2B pencil and use blending stumps. And by using all these different blending stumps, we're going to start from rounding out the areas. So wherever you see the ears or the hat, the brim of the hat, and the hairlines, those are where we're going to actually see the carved indentation into the stone. And then we're going to blend those out into basically small rounded relief features, and that's how we're going to make it look like the carved stone. And because it's a graphite pencil, it once again adds that stone quality texture into the paper. And again, another reason why I really love these kind of styles is because you could take them as realistic or as cartoon as you like. That's the really cool thing about a lot of these art styles that I love to do. But now we're going to do another really cool one, and that is going to be glow effect. If you're struggling with this effect, some tips that can really help is one, I always like to really darken out the entire image first. So that way when we apply this nice black layer across the top, when it completely dries, you'll be able to see all the little lines underneath right here, and that will help you apply the paint pen down without trying to figure out how we basically do it. Now, if you don't have an extra paint pen, here's a little tip that we're going to do later in this part. What we're going to do, instead of using a darker paint pen because we don't have multiple varieties of colors, what we're going to do is take a color pencil and just blend ever so softly around the edges. So when we grab the color pencil here and we just add that little fuzzed highlight around this nice strong paint pen, it gives it that really cool glow. And again, you can blend it out as much or as little as you want. If you just want a little bit of a little glow, then go for it. But if you really want to make it look more like one of those old 1950s neon signs, well then just really brighten it out, then go ahead, you can do that as well. Now you might see some other creators take a white paint pen and give a really thick bold line. I kind of make it look more like a neon tube and just add a small little amount of the white in the middle, so that way it really just has that fluorescent tube resonation to it. For the fifth style, we chose the pixel effect. And basically what we want to do is transform Luigi here into his old NES origin days. We want to make him look like that really cool, iconic pixel art. Except I do things a little bit differently when I do my pixel art. I like to freehand everything. It's a great way to help train your brain and train your eye to see the boxes, but also to just not color in simple boxes. We want to try to always get better at art, and one way to do that is to do these little things that help train your brain and train your eye. I'm going with a little bit more of a thicker outline. That's just because I really want to showcase the effect itself and all the little highlights and also some of the line work that's in this effect. But now we're going to transform Luigi into the drip effect. Now you might be thinking to yourself, wait, I already did the drip effect. No, we want to make him look really dapper. We want to give him all that pimped out clothing. We want to give him that nice cool gold chain, and we're going to make him extra drippy. So we are halfway through this point of the video, and I have an incredibly important question to ask. Who is your favorite character? Is it Mario, Luigi, Bowser, Peach, Toad? Let me know in the comments. I've seen tons of different people say all different types of characters. Even Bowser Jr. I was so shocked to see that there were a lot of Bowser Jr. fans. So I've always been a Luigi and Yoshi kind of guy, but let me know some of your favorite characters. Because maybe I've drawn them, or maybe I haven't. As you can see, I kind of changed up the sketch a little bit. I gave the clothes a little bit looser. I opened up the collar, also had to give him the chain, but I still kept the overall pose the same. So I did have to change the gloves around a little bit too, because once again, I wanted to showcase the style, give him a little bit of fresh flair in there, but we're still going to keep the coloring and the shading overall the same. Now we're going to hit up a little bit of a bling on the chain, and if you've noticed I haven't talked as much in this video, and that's just because allergies have absolutely been killing me. So I've been just trying not to cough every 5 seconds, but we'll get through this video. If you guys have allergies, you know. I didn't go too realistic in this particular section of the face, mainly because we're going to be doing realism next, and I want to make sure that it doesn't kind of outshine the other styles. And speaking of the aforementioned realism, here we go. We have realistic for the last style. I always like leaving realism for the end, mainly because 1, it takes the longest, but 2, it also showcases most of the artistic talent. A lot of the other styles that I do are more creativity, but when you're talking about realism or surrealism or even my horror drawings, that's more of a process, a step-by-step application of color theory, line art, all different types of things, values and shades and colors, etc. You want to make sure that those are all the things that you're thinking about when you're doing realistic art. And that's basically why I kind of wait to the last bit, so I can kind of go over some helpful tips for everyone at home. So here's a really good helpful beginner tip, and that is kind of layer all of your color down first. Don't work section by section. As you can see, I kind of did that a little bit here, but I'm also working in large sections at a time. I don't just finish off the hair and the mustache and then the hat. I get it basically set, and then I work towards the next section. This is because I want to try to develop the whole piece as a piece itself. If you're going to do one big realism, then I would definitely recommend just kind of mapping everything in, getting the basic colors down first. This will help prevent you from all of a sudden drawing an eye and then realizing, oh man, I misplaced it and it needs to be up higher, but now you fully rendered it and you can't change it. Another tip, and this coincides with the first tip, is also work your values as a whole. Don't just highly render the nose and get all your colors down, because then once again, if you might need to change something, augment something, you might make it a little darker, a little bit lighter, it's a lot harder to push and pull colors once they're kind of down on the page. This isn't paint. Color pencils and alcohol markers are a little bit harder to stretch when you're trying to transfer colors. And my last tip, if you are working with alcohol markers, I always recommend using your alcohol markers first and then color pencils over the top in a very soft pressure, as you're seeing as I'm doing with the face here. This will help you basically get those nice smooth blends. If you work very softly with color pencils, you can get incredible blends. This live stream that I did was a blast, and if you want a little bit more in-depth detail about how I went through each of the styles, then go back, hit up the live stream, because I answer a lot of questions, and I also showcase some of my art. So if you have a little bit more of a how-to and how you color, I go through that in a lot more detail in the live. But we're going to call this section complete, and the whole piece is done. What is your favorite section? Let me know down in the comments. Thank you for stopping by, and as always, I'll see you all in the next video.